And good morning. Welcome. Good Saturday morning. Welcome to Sports Talk. Glad to have you with us on this, what would we call it this morning? Humid, sticky. What?
Fog burning off. It'll be terrible.
Yeah, fog burning off. And
One thing about it, though, it was just a little bit cooler this morning.
It was.
Than I expected when I walked out the door. But rain just about everywhere last night at some point in time. I know when I got home from a Legion baseball game, it had not rained one single drop at my house. But once I was in about 3 minutes, made it just in time. The bottom fell out.
Did fall out.
A lot of rain here overnight.
And it rained really hard about 2 miles from Cherryville going to home for me, and it had rained hard.
Well, we didn't get any
But
really
nothing
hard
like,
rain.
Nothing like the ball game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was light rain, really.
That's all we had in Cherryville all night.
Yeah.
A hard rain did not fall.
Yep.
To paraphrase Bob Dylan.
A lot of places did get it though, and it's you can expect that too. I think I checked the baseball games last night, and Mike, you and I had talked about every game in the first round, every series in the first round had been affected at least once, and was suspended and moved. Last night, I think maybe a couple more.
Yeah, certainly not surprised.
Yeah, were affected by the weather once again. Of course, Cherryville did get to complete their game last night. They a scoreless game going to the fifth inning, and
the bottom fell out, so to speak.
It fell out more on Matthews than it did on the Clouds, right? The Clouds really didn't open up, but it was kind of a. We always say this. Anytime you go to a baseball field, you expect to see something you didn't see. Mm-hmm. And last night was just so weird of a game. It wasn't about just the 7 runs. The 7-0 score didn't come from mashing the baseball.
Oh, not at all.
By no means.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, and I imagine Coach Reynolds of Post 100 isn't happy about that. But, of course, he'll take it. But they didn't smash the baseball.
Yep. And you know what? You got to give credit to both teams' pitchers. Now, Lenny, at this point, you'll have to tell me because I did not see the last couple innings. Did Cherryville starter Joseph Webb?
No.
Okay.
He did not come back.
Okay.
I talked to Bobby Dale, and he 62 pitches. He said he hadn't thrown in 8 days, and he's told him he said you're done when they start back. Mm-hmm. So he did not.
Who did they
brought
finish
in
out with?
Cannon Willis.
Okay.
As he finished out.
Cherryville High product.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mike and I had talked earlier about the starting pitcher for not earlier during the game last night. Mike and I had discussed the starting pitcher for Matthews that he got pulled after 4 shutout innings.
Yeah.
And Mike said, "Wonder why that happened." I said, "PC."
Yeah.
I said, "Not necessarily the pitch count, the legal pitch count, but he's probably on a pitch count of some sort either."
And really, the guys they brought in after that just couldn't get the ball over. I mean, that's really what started.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Post 100's big 5th inning that put the game away. But he was good through 4. Well, Virag, the big guy.
I don't know. He's from Catholic, wasn't he?
Mike, quit discussing your drugs.
I don't remember his name.
Hey, good one.
It was Vitre, wasn't it? Or Vigray. Vigray.
Vigray, that's right.
Is the way I think the way it was pronounced. But
you get the best line 5 minutes into the show.
I thought about it last night, and I never used it during the ball game. But since you guys brought him up this morning, I could not hardly resist. Cherryville wins the game 7-1. The series will resume tonight at Butler High School at 7:00 down in Matthews. I'm going to try to search here and give you guys some updates on the other action that took place last night in Area 4, since we're already here talking about it. Some of our earlier risers. I know Rodney Willis is still asleep. He don't get up to about 9:45. But I'm just joking, Rodney. But as we said, 7-0, Cherryville winning. Here you go. Now listen to this. The Gaston Braves and Cleveland County, I'll say formerly known as Shelby, they were suspended. What inning do you think they were suspended? 1-1. It's 1-1.
Third inning.
Third inning. Did you hear it or did you guess?
No, I just guessed.
You nailed it. Third inning. Suspended game. So guess what? By Legion rules, the completion of that game will be today, not necessarily the time here, at 2 o'clock. At 2 o'clock this afternoon. Should be kind of toasty. I heard the whoo over there. It should be kind of toasty around 2 o'clock. And I start to say if the sun comes out. The sun's already out. I see the sun shining across the street here. So you can expect it to be. I think, we got one more brutal 90-degree before it drops a little bit. Don't we get a break, and it's going to be in the 80s over a couple days, maybe?
A couple days, I think.
But, yeah, that game is to resume today at Cleveland.
So it is going to be at Cleveland.
At Cleveland at 2 o'clock. And I wanted to double-check that and make sure. That's the way they're supposed to do it.
Right.
But I don't know if you noticed or not, but like last night, Queen City was starting at Caldwell. There's got to be some kind of conflict in scheduling because that should start at the higher seed, and it didn't. So I'm guessing Queen City couldn't get their field last night for whatever reason. But, 1-1, so they got basically a game and 2/3 to play today between Cleveland and Gaston. Another series that had the big S word in there, suspended. Sixth inning. This one got all the way to the sixth inning with Queen City leading Caldwell County by a score of 2-1. 2-1 in the sixth, suspended at Caldwell. So that one's going to move to Queen City tonight to finish game 1 and then play game 2. And all this, of course, is weather permitting. And Rutherford and I started to say East Burke. Rutherford County and Burke County, nothing. So you know that was suspended, right? Mm-hmm. Want to guess that inning? 0-0.
Second inning.
Suspended.
Let me guess.
First.
Okay.
Top of the first.
What I was basing all that on was,
Score.
The cloud at Cherryville
when it got there.
And at Shelby and Rutherford it come from that direction.
Hey, he's putting too much thought into this, Mike. He's being a meteorologist over there, determining when the weather will arrive. But yeah, that one didn't even get through the top of the first. Well, it did. Let me take that back. At the end of a half inning, after the top of the first, it was suspended. So, you talking about? I don't know if it makes any difference or not, but now you're going to go. Let's see. Today is July 9th. Okay, it looks like they're going to play that. According to this, it says game 1 at Rutherford. And I just wonder if Richard didn't update that. If it's going to, because it should be played. The conclusion of this game by the rules would be played at Queen City again, unless it's a scheduling conflict. I did see on here that with them playing, since they got home field advantage, Queen City, that if it went 5 games, game 4 and 5 would be at Queen City. So they would still host 3 games out of the 5 should it go that far. And I don't know. Can Caldwell compete with Queen City? You saw them both, Lenny. Can Caldwell
Well, I didn't see Queen City.
Did you not? Okay.
I did not.
Okay, I did, and I thought they were the most fundamentally sound team I'd seen.
I remember you told me that
all year.
It was the 5-1 victory at Cherryville.
Mm-hmm.
1 hit, 4.
1 hit allowed.
4 posts, 1 hit.
I try not to always go by that because, everybody's got an ace. I don't know if they would have thrown their ace during a non-league game just to prove they could beat a team like Cherryville.
Right.
But just like last night, you can't put a whole. Those games aren't going. Those games aren't going to the 5th inning scoreless in the Cherryville series anymore. I would bet. I don't think pitching.
Kind of like you saying, you didn't know whether Queen City threw their ace. Each team had different purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Dale, I know his was just to play.
Yeah.
And he was going to throw nobody that was he really counting on probably. And Queen City, like you said, might have wanted to, hey,
mm-hmm.
we need to win so that we can beat Cherryville,
right.
before the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So
psychological.
You never know. That's.
I was trying to work on something for the future here, and I messed up the screen. But I mean,
we know what Bobby. We know what he was thinking. I just want to play. That's to fill a game. And I think that was when they were supposed to go to Fuguay anyway. And
this is one of the strangest things I've ever seen. We talked about this last week when the pairings came out, Mike, that that Gaston Braves didn't get a bye. They finished second.
And Shelby did, or Cleveland County did.
Yeah. Yet now they're playing each other, and home field advantage is to the Gaston Braves, who didn't get a bye in the first round. So I've never seen a team not be home field advantage playing in the second round when they got a bye. But they're not seated as high. I mean, the Gaston Braves are the 2, so I guess that's where that comes in. And when I read that, I thought, now, is that just going by the seeds, and is that really the case? But it was played last night at South Point. What little bit they did get to play, I understand, was played at South Point. So.
If that was an appeasement.
I don't know. Or maybe it was told up front. You're the higher seed if y'all face each other. Cleveland County, you won't be at home. You won't get the home field advantage. You'll still go to Gaston for game 1 since they and the reason for the buys the way they went like they did was because of the way the divisions wound up unbalanced. More teams in the Western Division than what finished in the East. What we finished with? 10? No, 12.
12 teams.
'cause we had 4
teams.
4 buys and 4 games before.
Yeah, that was just a bit different.
Well, it seemed like
in itself.
My memory, I'm not that great, but it seemed like last year they had a couple to drop. It seemed like first round 2 out of the same division played the first round.
Right.
I don't ever
they did.
remember.
It happens every year.
Yeah,
I think it happens just about
everybody
every year.
ended up making it. You and I, we can all remember when some teams didn't make it. When you had
Yeah, you just didn't make the 16-team field. But can you ever remember a season where we entered the playoffs with only 12 teams?
It's been,
and that's
in both divisions of Area 4.
Yeah,
I don't.
Well, I'll say this too: where we're at, we're fortunate enough to still have 12 teams because a lot of division, a lot of places, a lot of areas right now, if they had
You're
3
down
teams
to
drop
6
out,
or 8, 10.
Yeah. Yep. If they had 3 drop out, they may not even have a playoff. They might just have 2 automatic bids to the state tournament.
How many teams do you think started the playoffs this week around the state? I'd say probably not over 40.
I'm not even sure they all started this week because the smaller areas, why would they start?
Could not. It wouldn't have to start, would it?
Well, I did see the schedule for Area 1, and they were starting.
That's Wayne County and Fuquay.
Fuquay, Pitt. Is that no Pitt?
Pitt was in there. You're right.
Yeah.
Pitt,
so
Fuquay.
I guess Wilmington in Area 2 would just, they'll just show up in Bowie's Creek in a couple of weeks, right? Because
I saw their record. It's outstanding.
when's the last time Wilmington did not make the state tournament? That would be some good trivia this morning. Not that I know the answer. I don't know the answer, but I just wonder when. Do you remember a time whenever some teams came? I remember a time. You can go back to. I'm not even sure how many teams we can name that are in that area. Do you know how? How many can you name that are in the Wilmington? I don't even know if I can name another one right now at this moment. Of course, it is early.
Pleasure Island or Pleasure something.
They had a team
that's
at one time.
That's the only one I can remember.
They had a team
I don't know
at
if
one
they have
time.
one now. But
I remember them playing in the state tournament at Rowan.
Yeah.
But that's been 20 years ago when I saw them because it was real close to after 9/11, maybe a year later.
And with Pitt County being area 2, what'd you say?
1.
1.
It's 2, 1, 3, 4.
Can't
figure that out.
What area does Wilmington feel? Because Pitt County's getting very close to the coast. That's
Yeah. That I need to go back and do some research. I just can't. Here's the way my memory works now. I'm just trying to remember last year's state tournament and who was there with Wilmington, or was it their year to host and they only got one spot? Because it wasn't Area 4's year to host, so there were 3 teams from Area 4. I do recall Fuquay being there, obviously.
Fuquay and Wilmington and.
So who was the third team from the east side, Mike? Who was the third team? At least 3.
When it was in Cherville 3 years ago, before COVID, it was Kinston, but I don't remember where I don't think they were back.
I don't think they were there last year.
They were back last year.
Yep. Fuquay. Somebody help me with that. That's tuned in this morning, awake. Maybe there's some late sleepers, but yeah.
Of course, the state tournament was in Cherville last year again.
That's what we say, but it wasn't their turn.
No, it wasn't.
That's why they had 3 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can't even sit here and tell you who the 3 were, but I'm going to guess Cherryville, the Gaston Braves, and
last year it was
Cleveland.
No, Rutherford.
Rutherford
was there.
But the Braves were there too, right?
Mm.
I think they were. I don't know for sure, but I think
I know they were. I know they were in 19. I believe it's 19 when. But I can't remember last year. But I do know Rutherford was there.
Yeah, like I said, the shorter the term, the harder it is to remember for whatever reason. I'll find a bracket somewhere, and just see. At some point, I think I can find a bracket and tell who all the teams were that were there, because it slips my mind on the Fuquay thing.
In fact, now I think back when they had it the first time, when I say the first time, like 3 years ago before COVID, that year they were 3 from it was the Gaston Braves and Cherryville.
Oh, if you host
and Union County.
If you well, there was 3 last year. That's what I'm saying. There were 3 last year, because if you host it, you're going to get that. If you host it and it's not your year,
year.
You're going to get that extra team. And that's the whole thing about it. I do remember. Here we go. Rowan was there last year. Obviously, they're in it just about every year. So they were there. I'm not even. Who was the state champs? Fuquay. Did they wind up winning?
Fuquay won it. Yes.
And I'm guessing they beat Wilmington.
They did beat Wilmington
at the end.
Finale.
So we got that part down. We just don't know who who a team. I can't.
The game was played on a brutally hot afternoon.
No way.
I mean, whoa.
No way. Does it get hotter every single summer, or am I just older? Is that it?
Combination.
Yeah.
You're older, and it gets hotter.
Yeah, and that's not a good combination, is it? Let's go the other way for a while. Oh, man. Lenny, what has happened to our man, Raphael Devers? Have you seen the news?
I don't know. I heard he went down with a back injury last night.
Well, one thing has been determined in the first 2 games of this series, Boston may be playing better baseball. They have really struggled over the last 2 weeks, and they're not near as good as the Yankees. I think we found that over the last couple of days. They cannot. They're not going to be able to compete with the Yankees just because the Yankee bats 12-5 last night.
I don't know how they're able to compete right now with the starting pitching staff and the shambles. They've got one starter from opening day.
Chris Sale's back to tearing up locker rooms again. You remember when I think we've talked about this before on this show a couple years back, not a couple, more than a couple, when he's been in the White Sox organization, they were going to wear the old tuxedos with the shorts, and he went in there with a pair of scissors or a knife or maybe a machete, I don't know, cut up every uniform so they couldn't wear them. Before while the guys were just going out through the pregame warm-ups, he went in there and took everybody's uniform and sliced them into shambles, and they didn't get to wear them. I guess he made his point. Of course, he tried to make it again the other night, and he apologized, but this time he didn't tear up uniforms, but he tore up a locker room.
What was this over? I didn't hear this one.
He just went wild after his.
He had 5 walks the other night. Maybe that was that.
And that was a AAA start, right?
AAA start, yeah. That
in Worcester. Yeah. Mass, which no longer play at Pawtucket, and I don't know what happened there either, how Pawtucket lost it, but in Worcester he went in the locker room. It may even been a road game. I don't know. I don't know where they were playing.
I didn't hear about his rampage, but I did know he had 5 walks that they were talking about. But he is still on.
Was not pleased with his performance, was his comment.
On par to go. I believe Tuesday nights when he's scheduled to. I believe I seen that last night. Tuesday's when he's supposed to make his debut. He
had a Joe Walsh moment. He was tearing out the walls, but this time a locker room and not a hotel. But I tell you, he's a little on edge. Yep. I say that Chris Sale's just a little on edge. Where's he from? Do you have any idea where he came from? Did he play college ball?
He played college ball. I don't know if he's from Florida, but he played at Southeastern University, which is like a JUCO in Florida. So. But I don't know if that's where he's from or not.
Yeah, I don't. So okay, so you're thinking he didn't go any place beyond the JUCO level. Let's see. I just like to see where the guy's from here. Born March 30th, 1989. Chris Sale is now 33 years of age, from Lakeland, Florida. Okay. So, yeah, excuse me, Lakeland, Florida. 2,059 career strikeouts. just about to catch Nolan Ryan.
2059. Yeah. I just glanced at this day before yesterday. 55,714.
How many?
5,700.
Is that Nolan?
That's Nolan.
That's funny that you looked at that.
I don't know why I was looking. I know what it was. Went over 3,000 the other night when he pitched. It went to 3,090. Got the Mets that just come back. Scherzer.
Okay.
And then I guess I thought, well, I wonder how many is.
Well,
his was 3,090.
Is that record as safe as the DiMaggio record with Nolan Ryan's? Tell me that number again.
I would 5,714.
5,714.
I mean, I just a couple of days ago. I don't know why, but.
Yeah, given the current era of pitching with nobody going past 6 innings.
I'm like you. I think that's safe because number 2 was Randy Johnson, and it was like 4,800 something.
And he was a strikeout king.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And Clemens was just right behind Johnson. So, I mean, the 2 and 3 are, 1,000 more strikeouts away from
So we
Ryan.
think there's 2 records that will never be violated. Ryan's strikeout record and also DiMaggio's 56 game.
Well, I mean,
streak.
there's probably more than that, but I'm just saying those just since we're
How
talking
many home
about
runs did Bonds finally end up with?
still under 800, right?
Yeah,
Lenny? Like
but I can't remember.
762 or something.
65 to
67.
something. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not so sure that I wouldn't. If I had to bet, I would bet on the hitting streak to be matched before the strikeout record.
I will
just because of pulling pitchers after.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. It's never going to happen.
And the hitting streak too. You got to be good, but you got to be lucky.
You do.
And the strikeout, you got to be good. That's kind of the way. You got to be healthy, but that's the luck. But you got to,
right.
You got to go a long time to.
Yeah, most strikeouts come on good pitching.
That's right.
Like you were saying, if you're going to have a 56-game hitting streak, if you're going to have a 30-game hitting streak, you're going to have some infield hits you didn't expect to get along the way.
Bloopers.
Yep. They all count.
Bad hops, that whole thing. But what I found amazing about DiMaggio, just his remarkable consistency, his ability, to put the bat on the ball and at least give himself a chance during that 56-game hitting streak.
Yep.
Clipper.
Roger Clemens is third on that list, and I wanted to mention him because I was watching a game a couple days ago, and Cody, his son, hit a home run in the game I was watching. He's with the Tigers, right?
Yes.
Yeah, with the Detroit Tigers. I was watching some of that, and he homered in that game. Now, how long has he been in the big leagues?
His son?
Yeah.
He was called up less than a month ago.
Okay.
He's been called up since the season
yeah,
started.
Okay. I wonder if that was his first homer, and because I
think it was probably.
I didn't hear. How many of these guys can you name me, Mike and Lenny? And in this, it's just in the top 10 of
strikeouts.
Of strikeouts, yeah.
Career.
I probably can come pretty fair because I just looked at it.
Yeah, you did.
I know Ryan and Johnson and Clemens were in the top.
That's the top three.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I mean, obviously they are household names. I mean, they wouldn't be there in this list if they weren't household.
Maddox comes in there pretty close.
He's 10th. Greg Maddox is 10th. I can't believe Mike hadn't named one or two of them.
Well, Koufax didn't pitch longer.
Right in his.
No, in fact, Mike, Koufax kind of blew my mind. I looked at that list. He's on there like 2,300.
Yeah, I mean,
but you know what?
Just didn't pitch long.
He didn't have a long career.
Yeah,
I bet his strikeouts per 9 innings would be much higher.
Right.
Exactly. Or per whatever.
Koufax was a young man, fairly by today's standards when he retired.
Was it injury or did he just step aside?
I think it was an injury.
And about what year would that have been when Koufax?
I don't remember.
Sometime in the 70s.
You probably. Yeah. I don't remember.
Probably
I remember him playing.
Remember him pitch.
I can barely remember him playing.
I cannot.
I think in the 70s.
And by the way, I'm not older than Lenny. We want to make sure we point that out. But I do. I mean, I do remember him being on the hill a couple times, along with number 7 Don Sutton on the same team.
I've thought of another to be right.
Well, early on, the combo was Koufax and Don Drysdale.
Gaylord's in there.
Gaylord, Vaseline Perry.
Yeah, he's in that top
Is it? You
10.
like that, Mike?
Yeah, love it.
Or Emery board, whatever it may have been.
Probably Seaver's in there.
Seaver, Tom Seaver. That's the
Yeah.
one I thought Mike would name
Yeah.
right off the bat.
Yeah.
Was Tom Seaver. As Chris Berman used to say, Burt be home by 11.
Yeah, Burt Bly. Yeah, he's in there.
He is number 5.
And they
Home
said
Bly.
the two most active, still active, Verlander's number 1. That's active still.
Yep, he said
And then
he's
right,
16th.
and then right
He's
behind
16th on
him
this
is
list.
Scherzer, because I looked. There's like 21 strikeouts between them between Scherzer and
Well, I'm going to tell you,
Verlander.
there's 7. 21 is exactly it. Listen to that memory. 21 is the exact number that there is difference. CC Sabathia is stuck right between
CC's
them.
between them.
Yep, but they're gonna pass him. Zach Greinke, also active, is on the list at 21. But here's the big lefty. You guys hadn't named number 4 yet. The big lefty that was so dominant. I'll give you an era 70s, 80s.
Left-hander that was so dominant, 70s and 80s.
Yep.
Oh, I know.
Go ahead.
Lefty. Steve Carlton.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Steve Carlton with the Phillies. Let's see.
The Philly Flash, yes.
Oh, wow. You know how many years? Nolan Ryan was in the league 27 years.
27.
27 years. Bob Gibson's on the list 10 years
Now-
less than that. He's
now,
at 14th.
I think
10 years less.
Verlander can. If he has 7 weight strikeouts his next outing, he'll pass Gibson. I believe he's close to him, like 3,111 or 10 for Verlander, and I believe Gibson's like 3,117, 18, something
He is.
close to that.
Let's see. I had him up here just a minute ago, but I lost it because Gibson pitched 17 seasons, struck out 31-17, 3.117 in his career. Pedro Martinez just ahead of him.
He's right in
Fergie
front of him,
Jenkins.
isn't he?
Ferguson Jenkins is 12th. And then the man that probably lost as many games as he won as a pitcher back in the day is ranked 11th. 24 seasons, 3,342 strikeouts. Exactly. Yeah. I think his record is very close. He won a lot of games, but he also lost a lot of games. He was just durable.
Basically one pitch, the knuckle, and don't have to really wear out your arm.
He could throw that knuckleball for 12 pitches in a row and then throw a 65-mile-an-hour fastball. It looked like a rocket.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if what you're looking at, David, is the same thing I looked at, but has it got pictures? Their pictures?
No.
What I had their
it does.
had their little pictures there, and it was showing you. All of them were colored except for Walter Johnson coming there at night.
Black
Number
and white
7 is
picture.
black and white.
Well, there's two. Cy Young's is also.
okay.
Cy Young's is also a black and white picture of the pitcher.
Pitcher of the pitcher.
of the picture.
Let's get tongue-tied here. Yeah, 57-14 Nolan Ryan in 27 seasons. And the magic number you guys talked about, the short career of Koufax, was 12.
Yeah, it's just not
12
that long.
Yep, 12
Wasn't it
seasons.
like 2,300 and something? That's his strikeouts.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I just remember I looked this a couple
I
days
lost
ago.
it again, but
I mean, it was just.
if you said 2,300, I can probably be able to find
Hey,
it.
would I be wrong in
2396.
Okay.
Did Koufax only pitch for the Dodgers? As far as I know, that was it.
That's all I. Well, like I said, I don't remember him pitching. That's crazy. But
As they rank, listen to this, just real quick. The top 4 are righty, lefty, lefty. Then about the next 12 are right-handers. The next lefty on that list is Sabathia. And I would think automatically that I know there's more right-handed pitchers, but I would think that the lefties would be the leader in this category for whatever reason. Of course, Randy Johnson, Steve Carlton, they were dominant. I think they were way more dominant as a strikeout pitcher than Sabathia. I think Sabathia was just a really good all-around pitcher, and I wouldn't even thought Sabathia was 17th.
And you were talking about say a while ago. If you look at most of the people on that list, all of them's got a little bit of edge. Most of them. I mean, Nolan Ryan had an edge. I'm coming inside. Him and Clemens kind of had that mentality that the inside part of the plate's mine too. And and we know Johnson, he was probably as close to the Sale character that on edge.
I always thought Nolan was pretty calm though. He just
when you listen to him talk, but he's kind of like a light switch when the game went.
He had the light switch on Robin Ventura.
Yeah.
Whenever he put him in the headlock. Yeah, but Ventura felt obligated to go to the mound just because.
But then you can look at some that, like Seaver. He didn't come across to me as a bulldog.
No.
But when he was on the field, it was a silent assassin.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a pitcher that's still active today that's on this list. First of all, let me tell you, Madison Bumgarner is active on this list.
His was like, what, 2009?
Yep.
I believe I seen.
Listen to the man over there. He's got a
God.
photographic.
He does.
I just looked at this the other day, so it's why.
Chris Sale, David Price. But this name here, I think, is one of the better pitchers of longevity of our current time, and that's Adam Wainwright.
Yeah.
He struggled a little bit the last game I saw him pitch.
Well, he pitched last night, David, and he gave up. It was a 5-hitter, and he lost.
Really?
Went the distance. Went 9 innings, which that's something unusual.
Not his
now.
fault. Not his fault. How
two
many
home runs? Two home runs. It's 2-0. 2-0 was the final.
And they were playing. Remember who they were playing?
Phillies. I believe it's Phillies. I believe it's Phillies.
Yeah, but I just think that who was the other starter in the heyday for the Cardinals? It was Wainwright and they.
Well, I had Chris Carpenter. Was it Chris Carpenter?
It might have been. I just can't. It seemed like it. I don't know. I just remember when they were. They went to the World Series a couple times. Of course, our Red Sox were fortunate enough to get them twice, but I think it might have been Chris Carpenter because they had Chris Carpenter and they also had the Carpenter that batted leadoff. What was his name? He's now playing for the Yankees.
With the Yankees.
Yeah.
I can't. First name can't cross my mind.
Me either.
But I know you're talking about.
Yep.
Well, they're showing on there before I left this morning. He hit a home run last night.
Did he?
And
who didn't?
And he had said he had nine home runs in 59 at bats for the Yankees this year, and he had 7 last 2 years with the Cardinals.
So is he more focused, or is that a different approach he's taken? You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Because with the Yankees, if you're not hitting home runs, you're probably not in the lineup.
That's right.
So it makes me think maybe he's just changed his
approach.
Yeah, maybe he's taking bigger cuts. And
you constantly mention the short porch, and he's left-handed,
right?
So that.
Yep.
I don't know how many of those 9 came at.
And with
Yankee
that
Stadium.
lineup, he's probably getting a lot of strikes.
That's right.
To swing at as well. Mike, you all right over there?
Yeah.
What you
good.
in deep thought about? I got that.
No, I'm just looking at the upcoming
strikeout.
All-Star game.
Upcoming All-Star game.
19.
How irrelevant is the All-Star game?
I know. I was just thinking about
It
that.
is.
And when
Compared to when we was young.
Yes.
When we were
It's,
kids, that was a big.
There's no pause anymore.
It was a big deal when we were kids, and there was no home run derby, and there's no futures game. Now they stack stuff in there to try to.
But
entice you.
I will say this: they wanted to play each other.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted to beat each other. We'll talk a little bit about All-Star games and talk about the non-Pro Bowl or whatever you want to call it. But first, we got to take a time out. We appreciate you tuning in to Sports Talk this morning. We'll take a quick time out. Back in a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Welcome back to Sports Talk. David Keever, Lenny Anthony, Mike Powell with you here on a somewhat clear. I can't tell now. The sun's not shining as bright over there as it was when we first went on this morning. So, you know what? I'm not.
Clock, though.
I'm not against the sun not shining.
It'll probably be lunchtime when I get out to Moe's when it's waiting on the SME to come.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what happens. But sometimes that's okay. Get you off that hot mower, right?
That's right.
Well, as we talked about the strikeout leaders, I get a message. See if you can guess who this is from. Why no mention of Bruce Sutter and old Dizzy from the Cardinals? So, you know who
it must be from Butch.
Yep. Butch didn't get that far down the list. Just a joke. Because the reason there was no mention of I did get Wainwright in there, you know. But the reason there was no mention of these guys is because you know how many people are on this list? Lenny Scarry got an idea of how many people are on this list. This list of strikeout leaders takes you through 1,000.
1,000.
Yep. 1,000. I think this is an active pitcher, Jason Grilly. There's 3 tied at 997. That's why it takes you through 1,000. Jason Greeley, Eddie Smith, and Jarrett Wright all have reached 694.
Jarrett Wright, Cleveland, and Atlanta. But the second one I didn't
Jason
know.
Greeley.
Greeley, I've heard his.
Yeah, Eddie Smith, yeah.
I've heard the Greeley, but I can't remember. Maybe Detroit, but I don't know.
Yeah, but what's weird about it, though, it says Greeley's, if this is right, 15 years in the league.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna assume he's not really a strikeout pitcher.
Yeah. Journeyman.
15 years in the league and not higher numbers.
Yeah, and Wright, then Jarrett, he had a lot of arm trouble. I think Jarrett Wright did.
Probably
set him back from being higher.
Yep, Butch, we did give you your Bob Gibson moment, and who was a strikeout pitcher?
He was.
He just didn't play as many years as some of the.
We was talking about Bulldogs too. Now he was a Bulldog too. You know, he owned inside the plate too.
Yeah, and then some.
That.
Yep. I see Garrett Cole was on this list and climbing. 10 years in the league, age 31, 1,797. And he is a strikeout pitcher. So,
yeah, he is. I look where it gives them a little different shade if they're active. I know where.
Yeah, he is in his 10th year. Said that at 31 years old. And I was just trying to compare him to some other people.
And I remember seeing.
See, he's going to pass people like Wainwright
I seen,
if he stays healthy.
Somewhere behind Greinke, he is number 3 active, I think. I think maybe Clayton Kershaw come in about 4th.
Kershaw's at number 26.
Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly right, Clay. How about Mickey Lolich?
Detroit.
Yeah.
Lefty.
22nd on the list. Mike Mussina.
The Moose.
Yep. Jim Bunning, John Smoltz. We forget about Smoltz for some reason. He's at 19th.
Yeah, that was who Scherzer passed the other night. That's what got me to looking was because Scherzer passed Smoltz.
Could Smoltz have been higher on the list had he remained a starter?
Probably.
He would have had to, wouldn't he? I mean, he's only getting a chance most nights to strike out 3 guys.
But probably, he probably would have made it anyway. But that's probably what got him in the Hall of Fame because he had over 100 saves and 200 wins. And that probably being able to interchange and do both. Of course, he had to change because of his arm surgery, but it probably aided him getting to the Hall because same way with Eckersley. He was.
I think an underrated pitcher is Tim Hudson, who's 75th on this list. Did it with different teams. Moved around.
I'm asking a question: Is he an assistant coach at Auburn or head coach? Because
somewhere he's the head coach.
He was on the bench. At the World Series. I thought that's Tim Hudson.
He was. Yeah, I remember him mentioning him. He was a head coach. I think
must be at Auburn. Then. I believe it was Auburn's where I seen it.
Unless he was just a pitching coach, but I think he might have been the head coach for the Tigers there. Steven Strasburg, Anibal Sanchez, Ian Kennedy, just some more active guys that are on the list. Johnny Cueto, age 36 now, is Johnny Cueto. He was with the Reds for a long time.
He's somewhere right now.
Yeah, I know.
Is it White Sox? Maybe. I'm just.
And Bumgarner's still throwing. I don't know how much.
And I believe he said 14 years, and it seemed like
32 years old.
Yeah, 32.
Yeah.
14 years, and he's just 32.
Think about that. Does that mean he was pitching in the big leagues at 18?
Yeah.
Did he, Mike? Was he up that quick?
I didn't think so. But
I'm like you, Mike. I didn't think so.
It could be worked where he was 19.
Yeah, probably wasn't, but I wouldn't have thought he was 19, really. But it had to be if it's isn't it 14? Didn't that? Because I looked, it said 14.
It does say 14. 14th season, and he's 32 years old. That's that would be interesting.
It had to be at least 19.
Right.
Or he left because.
Yeah. I didn't know, and now it makes me wonder how old was he when did he win 1 or 2 MVPs as World Series MVP? Was it just one? Mike, it's your Giants.
I think it was 1.
I'm like you, Mike, but I cannot remember who won the other one.
Yeah, you guys have mentioned the All-Star game, or Mike did, is coming up, and it's just not the same. It doesn't seem like as it once was, and of course, none of the All-Star games seem to be. And I was, we've talked about this subject before. Which one is the worst to try and watch?
Yeah.
I think the baseball is probably still the best to try.
Yeah.
Regarding the All-Star game, there's something I heard this week in discussion, all the talk shows I listened to, that Commissioner Rob Manfred named Albert Pujols and Miguel Cabrera to the team. And, of course, it's supposed to be a team picked by the
senior
fans.
circuit.
And, obviously neither one of those guys are having,
I like
great
it.
years.
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah,
That
I like
these-
it. Farewell
these
tour.
two
It
sluggers-
may be their farewell
Yeah.
tour is one of the
And
reasons.
it is for Pujols, supposedly.
He's already
He's
announced
saying he is, but Cabrera, I hadn't heard that on him, but it is Pujols. Is what
14th selection to the All-Star game for Pujols.
Make that J and H, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, Pujols. I never could pronounce his name right.
just call him Fat Albert. That way we know who you're talking about.
He is a big boy, and he could
But the oldest active player currently in
in the majors.
the major.
At what age?
42.
42. So who's second?
I don't know, but Cabrera is he's 39. I don't know where he ranks as far as the senior circuit of players still active.
You know what I see the thing that popped in my mind about those two guys. One looks like he is having the best time of his life every time the camera's on him. The other one looks like he's miserable.
Yeah.
Pujols miserable.
I don't know that I've ever seen
Cabrera.
Pujols smile.
And Cabrera just like
Happy-go-lucky.
yeah.
Perpetual smile on
Yeah.
his face.
Yeah. And maybe Pujols just is more focused guy, whatever it may be.
Mentality, right?
He just don't
Maybe
have
it's
that look
because Pujols is hitting 200 with only this season with 4 homers and 18 ribbies.
but he's still getting paid.
Oh, yeah,
You know.
big time.
Yeah, and he hadn't took the Bobby Bonilla route yet, but he's still active and getting paid.
But he's still getting paid, Bobby. Ain't that something? I heard Brett talking about that last week.
Bob Forshee had 1,100 plus in 15 years with the Cardinals. Says
Bob Force, okay.
Force, yeah. But I guess spell check gave him a Y there or whatever. But Bob Force was the 11. I remember Force a little bit.
Yeah.
Did he not have a brother?
Ken.
Yeah, that also.
He was. I said Bob at Houston, but Ken was at Houston.
Yeah. 15 years with the Cardinals. Yeah. Hey, we're not doubting you. Listen, Butch, there's a lot of Red Sox pitchers I hadn't named either. There's a lot of Red Sox pitchers I hadn't named either.
Tell Butch we've given him some good pitchers. John Tudor.
Yeah. Golly, man, that goes back 20 years now, don't it? John Tudor.
Speaking of Pujols, do you know where he ranks?
Still wants to
on
throw
the-
that J in there, don't
Yeah.
Do you know where Pujols ranks on the career home run list?
I don't, Mige.
What is about fourth, Mike?
I'm going to call him Mige. I'm going to put a J in
I'm
his
just
name.
guessing.
Okay, pronounce his name again.
Pujols.
Pujols.
Like you dig holes in the ground.
Gotcha.
The Hispanic J,
You're right.
Jimenez.
What is he, Mike? About fourth?
Very close.
I know it's
Lenny.
it's
Fifth
Bonds and
This is where he
Bonds,
ranks on
Aaron.
home runs.
all
A-Rod.
time.
So did you find out where Bonds got to? The number
762.
762.
That's what you say.
Aaron
That was-
755. Ruth
That was
714.
luck.
Roof's the
A
one
Rod
Roof's the
696.
one I left out. That's what I should have known.
Yeah,
I mean,
reason
that's
you
one
left him
that's
out.
emblazoned in your mind
Yeah.
forever. 714.
I would like to see how many home runs hit. Now, here's one thing that I don't think would be on that list: number of at bats.
Yeah.
Who is the best? It may be somebody that's only hit 200,
Right.
but who is the best all-time home run hitter per at bat?
Yeah. I know.
You know? I'd like.
I'm sure that's available.
Well, I'm sure it is
sure, yeah.
available somewhere.
Well, what is Albert's number? 6 what? 83, 84?
Let me
Almost
see.
too high.
Is he not 700?
683.
683. He'll never make 700.
Well,
Nope.
he just missed 84 last night because that's when I seen about Wainwright having that pitched 5-hitter and got beat 2-0. He hit one of the warning track. They called. It looked like when he hit, it looked like it was gone, but didn't
believe
happen.
how close A-Rod came, how tantalizingly close to
What was it,
700.
like 696?
696. God.
4.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
would and he got shut out late.
I wonder if Pujols think if he when he retires, will he I don't even know how to word this. Will he like wish he would have retired earlier?
Right.
Before the major decline, in production. Don Revel said Madison Bumgarner made his major league debut in September of 2009. So, wonder
So
what
he's a late call up.
Wonder what year he graduated from South Caldwell High School. Just to put that in perspective, and we'd know then. I guess you sit here and do the math.
I'm just
anyway.
thinking he had a full year in the minors,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe at the right tail end of that September call up. I'm gonna say a year and a half, but I'm just guessing.
Yep. Mike, what other? I want. Here's what I want. What else do you have? Have the starters been named
For the All-Star?
Yeah.
They have.
Yeah.
They have.
that? Do you have that information?
Let me see.
They have. They was scrolling it across last night. Devers is the third baseman.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah.
We don't even know if he's going to be available or on the injured list.
I guess he'd go down as because.
Yeah, Rafael Devers.
And the Anderson kid from Chicago is the shortstop. Pujols.
Oh, he's great.
Second base.
The Anderson guy is just a terrific baseball player.
Pretty good outfield.
Guerrero's first base.
Yep.
Stanton, Judge, and Trout was the outfield in the American League.
I was going to say, pretty good outfield.
Yeah.
There, huh?
And the boy from Toronto's the catcher.
He's got them all.
Kirk,
Yeah,
I
he's
can't
got
get
'em.
Alejandro Kirk.
I'm looking at it right here, and
And-
he clicked it off.
And, well, I'd have seen it might have seen it this morning again before I was leaving. I'm going out the door. Now, Tony, he's now they have a ADH
Yep.
now. And
What is Judge's status as far as the injury list goes?
I don't know.
Wow. Don Revel says Madison Bumgarner graduated in 07. 07, which means he would have
07.
graduated in June of 07, and 2 years and 3 months later, he was in the majors.
Yeah.
That's quick.
Yeah, that is quick.
That's quick.
So
That's getting up there quick.
2007 is also the year that one of the years that Post 100 won the state Legion championship.
you were
Here we go. Listen to this. They ask and you will receive. Rodney is awake. Rodney lives this morning. The knobby man.
Rodney rises.
He says that Babe Ruth is second all time with a home run in every 11.76 at bats. He's second all time. So I'll let you guys dwell on who's first.
Well, it has to be Bonds. No.
Wouldn't have to be, Mike.
Well,
it could be
You
somebody.
know what? You know what? You got a big red X.
yeah.
No, it could be somebody way on down.
And what a difference, too. I think it's a big difference. 11.76 for Ruth, and this guy did it in every 10.61. So over
Is
a
it
full at bat.
Is
Did
he
he hit?
modern? Is he modern?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not active, but modern. I'll give you that. Not active,
McGuire.
but that's it.
Mark McGuire.
Mark McGuire, 10.61.
That was a guess.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
One of
after
two
you-
men
after
who
you nailed-
resurrected baseball.
After
in
you
the
nailed
90s.
it down modern, I thought.
And Sosa was probably pretty high on
Probably
that.
pretty,
Yeah, probably pretty, especially at least for that one season, right?
Yep.
When several things happened to his
Was
body.
that the best home run race since Maris and Mantle, you think, in the early 60s?
One I don't remember is the Maris and Mantle one.
No.
And, and obviously with TV coverage and media the way it is today, it was better.
Yeah.
It was better just because
And
it was more publicized.
You want to turn on the TV each night, each morning, and see what happened.
Yeah.
What.
Exactly.
It was,
And I, for one, did not care if they're on steroids or not.
right.
It was not illegal.
It wasn't illegal.
It wasn't
So
illegal.
there you go.
So they're facing pitchers that's probably doing the same
There's
thing.
more to it than that. Hand-eye coordination.
That's right.
And
Just because your arm might fall off as a pitcher one day, that's the chance they take.
What do you think Major League Baseball was a silent conspirator in that? I mean, knowing it was rampant,
Brought the game back,
brought the
didn't
game
it?
Yeah.
back with home runs. What do you think, God, Lenny? Could be. Maybe not, but sure it didn't hurt. Did it? I mean,
we didn't know, but we kind of turned our
That's what they did.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I look at it.
Exactly, that's exactly what they did. We're just
we're coming back. Which we've brought the fans back.
It's a rule, but we're not going to test
Right.
but about twice every decade.
Right.
So you got them all in on the American League side.
if
the
he gets the
National League.
Nationals, I'm going to bow down and
Let
say
me look
I'm not
and see.
worthy.
Yeah, I seen them, but I can't.
If he gets
Let me
these,
think a minute.
I'm looking at them.
I'm not a National League guy as much, but
There is a name on there that is going to win the name contest for this morning. Third one down, Mike.
Oh yeah,
That's
that's the best name ever.
Goldsmith's the first baseman. I do remember that.
Yep,
You're right.
Yep,
And,
Paul Goldsmith, Cardinals Butch, Paul Goldsmith.
Machado is third base, and he barely beat out Arenado. Butch, sorry.
Yeah, 51% to 49.
And
well, one of our old guys is in the outfield.
Yep.
That's me and you, Lenny.
One of your turncoat guys.
Mookie Betts is in the outfield.
Is in the outfield. That's
Yep. And then Freddie Freeman's best friend.
Acuna. And I think he was the top vote getter, if I'm not mistaken.
He was.
And
I don't even have the vote getters. But while on the subject, what a welcome to see the Braves fans back in attendance.
Yeah.
I mean, they're packing it out right now. I mean, they've had some really good crowds throughout the season. So maybe the moving of the stadium really helped the attendance.
And the catcher is Contreras.
Contreras is correct.
He's the catcher.
True.
Wilson Contreras, Cubs. Yeah. And you've already named Goldsmith at first base. You have named
Machado was at
third. Mookie Betts, Ronald Acuna, one more. Now this one was a Dodger, now he's a Giant. Am I right there?
Peterson.
Yep, Jock Peterson.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got that one. You had to give that hint.
The DH is on the injured list. And I don't know how long he's on the injured list. Broken thumb. I don't give it away.
That's horrible.
The broken thumb gave it away. You didn't name the American League DH either, did you?
Yeah, Ohtani was.
He's also going to pitch, So how about that?
And his pitching stats this year are far more impressive than his hitting.
Yeah.
For Ohtani.
And then
2.41 ERA, I believe.
So the two you missed,
second base.
The two you haven't got are the shortstop and second baseman, the middle infielders. One is West Coast, one's East Coast. I'll put it that way, and both have nice beaches. Right, Mike Powell?
I know the second baseman is Jazz Chisholm. Is second base. And
best name in the lineup.
And the shortstop.
Jazz Chisholm, I love that name. Only bad thing is he does not play in New Orleans, right? Yeah. Or Utah, for that matter.
You said that was West
Jazz
Coast.
Is so popular in Utah.
Oh, I know.
Jazz is huge.
I know who the shortstop is. Turner.
Yep.
Trey Turner.
Right.
Wow.
You give me them clues, though.
You know what's amazing? The Dodgers did not re-sign Seager. Let him go. Let him sign a huge contract, right, with the Texas Rangers. Get him paid. Rowan County product. But look what they did.
Yeah.
And now, was Turner already in their organization, or did they go out and get
him? No, they
only
got him last year. They got him and
during the season.
Him and Scherzer both. From Washington did a house cleaning right at mid-sea, with the trade deadline, and Turner and Scherzer both went to the Dodgers. And at the time when Turner went, I thought, well, where are you going to play everybody? Well, they had something in mind.
Evidently they did. So I just wonder on there, with the full rosters to be revealed Sunday at 5:30. So this will be the manager selections, right? And is that the way they do it now?
I guess that's how they still do it.
Still do it with the manager selection.
Wonder if they increased the roster size to include Pujols and
I'm sure they did.
Expanded it one.
They didn't take away. They're not going to take away from somebody.
I heard something, and it makes a lot of sense. I believe I heard this on Baseball MLB Central. This has been a month ago, talking about picking a utility player for just like you said, you pick DHs. Pick somebody that plays multiple He says they don't play enough, but they don't play a single position enough to to really get enough attention. But they move them around, and they were naming off guys. I thought, well, I hadn't even thought about him. It wasn't people you'd think about. Because I guess, like I say, because they move them around so much.
Yeah.
I believe Police Act was the one that was pushing.
How much of this is still today popularity vote versus? Do you think anybody's on here because of popularity and not performance? Just on the two rosters, do you think there's anybody that's – how in the world did he make it? He's batting 200. Yeah. Well, 200 is not that terrible anymore, but how in the world did he make it because he's not having a great year?
I think the leading vote getter in the National League because he's been hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll be an All-Star multiple times
You're talking
in the future,
about
but Acuna this year don't have the –
he don't have the numbers to support it. Yeah.
So I think it's some of both,
Yeah. I would like to – yeah. I mean, I would think people like Jazz Chisholm – earned it. Wilson Contreras earned it.
Probably the guy to
even Goldsmith. Goldsmith's having a really good year.
having a heck of a year.
Now Aaron Judge was the lead vote
and Judge ought to be in. And
yeah, he deserves.
He's leading the world in home runs.
Yeah, he's on a pace to hit 60 some.
Are Altuve's numbers like they normally are?
Yeah, they're good.
Okay.
Yeah, they're good.
And I'm sure, I don't know if he's a fan favorite, so to speak, across the nation, but I think he is a kid's favorite.
Yes.
And
Devers ought to, that's third base is a strong position, but I feel like Devers ought to been it.
Oh,
he's Boston.
He's hit for average and with power. And
David, you were talking about the rosters. The full roster won't be revealed till Sunday.
Sunday at 5:30, Eastern time. That is.
Yes.
I know you like to live on West Coast time.
I would say most of them
living on Tulsa time
probably earned it, David. Most of them, but I think a few that,
I don't know.
And I'm not knocking Acuna, but he cut back late. He's hurt, and then he's been struggling. So
yeah. But again, you got to remember the fan vote.
That's right.
Here's the one guy. The reason when I saw the one guy that we hadn't discussed, and I don't know his numbers. He might be tearing it up, and it's Mike Trout, because Mike Trout to me would make it even if he wasn't hitting. I don't know what he's doing.
Well, his numbers.
He's got good numbers.
His numbers are good. He's got about 24, 5 home runs.
Yeah,
and he's had some slumps on top of that, and still has those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. Well, I kind of think about when you're saying that, back when we were growing up, Cal Ripken could have batted 200, and he's going to play shortstop.
Worse, yeah.
That's right.
A very popular
after
guy.
so long, I mean,
He was.
And he earned it.
Yeah.
He earned it. I will say that. But, yeah, is there anybody you think is there a player stands out to either one of you that you think should be in that starting lineup on one side or the other? Because I haven't kept up with it close enough to know the leaders and everything. And who do you project as starting pitchers?
Yeah.
I mean, is it Garrett Cole? Is his numbers good enough that he's going to be? I mean, he's the first one popped in my mind. I think maybe it's because I hate the team he's on.
I would think, from what I'm hearing,
like
the boy from Tampa is probably, they're trying to guess starters. What they McClanahan, Shane McClanahan, because his numbers, number of starts going long. He's the name that I'm hearing as a starter, and they were debating on MLB Central about.
That's the American League side.
Yeah,
I just wonder
on the National League side, because the All-Star game's in L.A. They were saying, well, and this sounded like to me, well, this was an honorary thing more than one guy was saying, well, they ought to let Kershaw because this might be his last chance to. But probably the other boy with the Dodgers is the one probably Gosselin. He's probably the one. That
you're right. Yeah, is he the cat guy?
Yeah,
he's the one that likes to.
He's the cat. Yeah,
Tony
Gosselin.
Strange. There,
and I believe he's got 11 wins.
Of a cat. But he's been dominant for the Dodgers. Probably their best so far up to this point.
But I think Cole's on it. He's got to be. I mean.
We appreciate you tuning in to Sports Talk this morning. Going to take another time out. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back here in a moment.
untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Fort Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
I just realized Lanny's been hard at it this morning. He has fixed our graphics for Nobody Wants to Be Me. I am back to David Keever now, and Mike Powell is Mike Powell. You fixed the graphics, yeah. Well, I'm slow.
He has, yeah.
I'm small, but I'm slow. The old Lou Holtz.
We're small, but we're slow.
I love it. That's one of the best ever.
Slow.
Was Lou the last great one-liner in coaching comments?
Okay, the great debate. I'm going to ask here firsthand. Lanny spells Lenny's name one way. Mike Powell spells it the same, I think, when I get text as Lanny does. And I have always put an E. So which is it?
I put an I.
Do you?
L-I-N-N-Y.
Okay.
That's how,
L-I-N-N-Y.
Okay.
that's
what
how
I
I've
thought.
done it. But
That's
there's
what I
more
do
ways
it.
than.
But now I want to know.
But I answer to a lot of things.
Is how does Squiggy's partner spell his? Does he? Okay.
And I get called Lenny.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Anything, even with an A.
I get
Yeah.
called many things.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way I am.
And I heard him say something about an X, but sometimes mine are rated X.
Yeah.
It might not be. I get called all kind of. Probably get called all kind of names during this show if you want to get right down to it. But by some of the, hey, what is it they always said though? If they love you or hate you, it don't matter. They're listening.
They're listening. That's
right.
broadcasting's motto.
I don't think we do too much to make people
Yeah.
hate
No.
us actually, but yeah, it's
You
interesting.
just talking about Lou Holtz, but the best one, like y'all talked about earlier, was John McKay's.
Yes.
Yeah.
About the execution.
He was one of the greats.
I'm in favor of it.
Probably the greatest line ever
I just wonder.
in a press conference.
I'd like to go back and see that old thing because what I'd like to see, and I'm sure there weren't enough cameras around, but whoever asked the question, I'd like to see the face of that person.
Yeah.
How long did it take him to get it? Like did it register instantly that he understood?
Yeah,
it?
we've seen a lot of meltdowns by coaches and pressers, but McKay just had that.
Yeah.
He just had that perfect comic
Yeah.
timing.
And to never flinch, and
Never
never
flinch.
smile.
Never
Yeah.
smile.
Never
He just
smile.
said it like that, and it's like,
Deadpan.
I'm in favor of it. Whoever knew
Yeah.
a line like that could be so funny and still.
But
still
you look back at some of these meltdowns, and they're hilarious in retrospect.
Playoffs.
Playoffs.
To me, that's the most
More.
Yeah, that's the most notable
And,
meltdown. Of course, now there's been a baseball game this year that I saw on highlights one night, either late night or whatever, where the baseball managers can really go.
Oh,
off.
yeah.
Hal
Yeah.
McRae has
that
a
was
famous
that was the one, Hal McRae,
Yeah.
throwing stuff around and
throwing all the equipment,
one
like
guy
the equipment on the desk had something to do with the phone.
Hit one of the reporters. He's bleeding on the side of his face.
Yeah, that can happen too.
Can you imagine that today? And but yeah, but there's been a either a major league or minor league meltdown this year, maybe even a college game. I can't remember exactly, but for whatever reason,
What was that thing? I guess it was the Tennessee Notre Dame series and the Super Regionals. There was something involving the coaches there.
I better not eat that donut, Michael. Leave me a big bite of donut in my mouth now. I can't remember.
I can't remember, but I know there was something, Mike. I just don't
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah,
Some
that
controversy.
very interesting.
I know his demeanor, the Tennessee coach, was that's just come across to me as boyish, roguish, whatever you want to call it.
And the Notre Dame coach who took the Irish was that their first World Series ever?
The instantly departed.
He did. He left.
Yeah.
Well, of course he would. He's going home.
Going home.
Going
Yeah.
home, going where he played.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was automatic for the Seminoles and a
it was
good
their-
hire too.
I think it was their first. I guess it was their first World Series.
I would think
I
so,
don't
too.
know that, but he was
and Florida State,
he was
didn't you tell me, been 26 times but never won it?
never won it.
Wow.
Never won it.
Always a bride.
think
And like
26.
40, been in the World Series. I mean, not the World Series, but the college.
Been to the playoffs that many times.
40
I guess.
sometimes.
Oh,
I
okay.
think maybe the World Series 20s.
Yeah, it's in the
20s.
20s. It's in the
Yeah.
20s.
I
Who's
believe-
number 2 in frustration? I think North Carolina has to be pretty high on the list of making it to the big show.
I don't know if it's been that many times though, Mike, or if we just remember it because it's been more recent.
Yeah,
You
and it
know.
was
I
always
believe they've been-
Oregon State.
Yeah, I believe it's 12. I believe 12 times is how many times
Have
I
they
read
been that many?
being, I believe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the back-to-back year, and, it was the same team,
Same
Oregon
team.
State both
Oregon
times.
State. Yeah.
Okay. Has either of those two been back since?
Yes,
Oregon State has had.
Yes, Carolina was there.
They made it too.
Carolina went back a couple more times right there, about 4 years in a row.
But
They
didn't get to
and
the
then
finals.
and then didn't go. No, that was.
Yeah.
But they went about 4 years in a row, and then it fell off a little bit, and then they went back 2018, 19. Them and State ended up. Them and NC State were both there, and they played each other twice.
Is that the
they
COVID,
played each other
when Carolina State? got sent home because of COVID.
No, that was last year.
That was just last year.
Yeah.
Yes, the NC State's had a string of unfortunate incidents in their sports
It's
program.
called athletics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that they were given $50 million. Not $50 million. Excuse me. Let me go back. $5 million. One of the banks or something in that area gave them $5 million, and the gift was to what do they mean by this? Enhance athletics.
I don't know. That could mean a number.
That could mean a number.
Pay players.
Yeah, to me it sounds like a clearinghouse for NIL.
I mean, that's the first thing I thought of was, okay, here's your first. You spend the $5 million the way you see fit.
That's it.
And
NIL.
Better get us a good quarterback, or I don't know. I'm just, Who's the last big time quarterback at NC State? Rivers. What's the kid that played in the NFL for a long time, but was he might even still be in the
probably
NFL.
The last one. The was probably.
Brissett.
Glennon was the last one that
Mike
made it to
Glennon.
the pros.
What about Jacoby Brissett?
But probably,
He's in there.
but probably the best one they've had, and I still call him State. Is what's the guy in that Denver? Was it Seattle?
Oh yeah, Russell Wilson.
To me, he's the best quarterback since
I don't know
because he was before Rivers. After Rivers.
After Rivers.
He was after
yes,
Rivers.
he was after.
What was the name of the NC State coach at that time who basically ran Wilson off? Tom. No.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I do
He's
too.
from Boston College.
Yeah. Yeah, he coached at Boston College prior to State.
Yeah. O'Brien? Is that his name?
That's it.
Tom O'Brien.
Tom O'Brien.
Should have got that. Boston and O'Brien. That's the Irish name there.
Kobe Brissett will probably be the starting quarterback for Cleveland this year, more than likely, right?
Is that where they're sitting right now? I didn't even know that's where Brissett was.
Is that where he's at?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
So you're saying
well, he probably will.
Who's he going to be? We know that Watson's going to be suspended. I think he's going to be suspended the whole year.
Right.
What?
I wouldn't be a bit surprised. I mean,
yeah.
So-
And of course now.
So thoughts on the Panthers' new quarterback then? While you're
Hey,
going,
I love
there.
it being an OU fan.
Yeah.
I mean, heck. And you know what? Baker has always flourished under adversity. I mean, look,
true.
I heard the perfect comment on him the other day. Is I don't know how he can do or what he can do, or we don't know. And I think it come from out of the Panthers organization, like saying we're going to learn a lot about him as we go. He said, but one thing there is no question about is his toughness.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, even as bad a year as he had last year when he played injured, you compare his numbers to Darnold on every level of statistics, and he just seems like a better quarterback than Darnold.
The oddest comment I heard about this trade, of course, it's his final rookie year, right, on rookie contract year.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
so he's going to be a free agent at the end unless they sign him during the season. But the oddest, now I lost my train of thought looking at it that way, but was what was it? Okay, move on. I'll get it back in a minute. One of those things, I walked in the other room and forgot what I went in there for. But I shouldn't have.
That happens.
Brought up
train left the station.
Yeah, runaway track too.
I'm like you, Mike. On paper, he's just comes across as the better quarterback.
Yeah.
And if nothing else, the competition.
There's no question that
the
Darnold
competition's going to help.
Yeah,
I mean,
Darnold played on the Jets.
I already know what it was
that.
now. It was the fact they said some NFL analysts said this will be the best group of receivers, the best receiving core he's played with. What kind?
Whoa, how's that possible?
Was Cleveland not loaded at receiver with Landry?
the whole
At one
thing.
time they had Beckham Jr. and Landry, and
Whoa.
maybe I'm missing something there. Who a good tight end?
Well, let's start to look at the Panthers receiving core. I mean, who is?
I don't see any Musim Muhammad out there. Or
Robbie Anderson,
Steve Smith,
DJ Moore.
Moore.
I guess he had over 1,000 yards last year. How that was
I mean,
possible, but
those
he did.
two guys stand up.
and Robbie Anderson's already got a history of mentioning negatives about Baker.
That's
that
right.
Came
That's
out, but
that's the.
he said there's nothing to it.
That's the concern. If will the clubhouse be accepting?
Mm-hmm.
That's.
Because Baker's going to make an impression in the clubhouse.
Oh,
There's no question about that.
And I think he'll be fine. You know, I mean, okay.
Well, if nothing else, it makes us kind of think of this season for the Panthers at least interesting, right?
Interesting, and you feel like, well, maybe you've got a chance.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't have a lot invested. I
No.
mean,
Now they have the
That's
first
amazing.
and the
With-
third,
what was
first and the third quarterback taken in that, or maybe the first and the third pick.
They do, or now in Panthers territory. That's right.
So if you
Darnold was the third pick
right,
when
who,
he came out.
who are the other? Is there another one on the roster? Another QB on the roster?
yeah, they drafted.
They drafted
the guy
Matt,
from
Matt
That's right.
Corral out of
Mississippi.
Ole Miss.
Corral.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Corral.
The Corral.
Yeah. So makes me. I guess my next question is, will the quarterback that was there help me? Southern Cal.
Darnold.
Darnold. Will he
Sam
be
Darnold.
there? Will he be there at the start of the season?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he
so.
will.
I think it's going to be a battle for those two for start.
and I think one of them two is going to merge. They're going to probably re-sign one of them two, and
Yeah.
at the end of the year. And
I like the
one
fact.
of them's going because both of them at the end of last year. I know it's Mayfield's, and I believe it's Darnold's.
Could
I
be.
think,
It had
too.
to be.
So
It had to be. They
so
came out
you
at the same
know
time.
they can't afford to keep them both.
Both
I don't
came
think
out with-
he'll be there at the start of the season.
Well, you might be.
There's just something in my mind tells
Really?
me we're not going to have him here looking over the shoulder of the guy. If this is if Mayfield's training camp goes well,
Right.
Then-
You know.
But then you're going to have a rookie as your backup if you get rid of Winovich.
No, not necessarily.
Matt
You're just
Corral.
not going to have Darnold.
Okay.
You know, there's other
Might
guys
have-
out there that
Yeah,
can
you
play
pick
a
up
backup
somebody.
role, you
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it also depends on what the relationship is like between Darnold and Mayfield during training camp and all
I
that
think
kind of stuff.
I think there is a. Now that you say that, I think there is a. What was the kid that played some last year? I think he's still there.
He's still
Carroll,
on the roster.
PJ Carroll, is that his
Oh,
name?
that's right. PJ.
So, you know, so
that's right.
What you say,
I
David,
just,
might be.
I just
that
don't think you can
they're-
have two people.
They're not
come-
going to carry four quarterbacks.
Well,
you know
They
that.
say if you got two quarterbacks, you don't have any.
Yeah.
You know, so I just don't think that. I think if they are comfortable with the
Okay.
way, that's just me. Just my thoughts
It's
because
possible.
you don't want. It would make Mayfield more comfortable, would it not?
I think it would.
Yeah.
I mean, you want competition. You want the guy to know that, hey, I got to play well or my job's going to be taken. But then again, you know, it's like you don't want it on every snap you take.
Yeah.
And I think if there's somebody equal in talent, it might be like every snap you take, you're thinking about that, and you can't perform as well.
I like the fact that Corral has an opportunity to be brought along slowly. I
Slowly.
think he could be their future guy.
If he has a son, I hope he names him Golden.
Golden Corral, baby.
You remember Golden Richards?
Golden Richards for
Takes
Dallas,
Takes you
right?
back, yeah.
Golden
Takes you
Tate.
back. Golden Tate. Yep.
Golden Tate.
Yep, that's right. Golden Corral. That would be perfect, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be.
Unless you guys think of another one.
Yeah, there it was.
The Corral is. Hey, that's a
How
different.
about OK Corral?
Okay. Yeah, that'd be okay.
Well, that's-
Hey, yeah, name him something when he uses his initials.
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah.
Shoot out at the
yeah.
OK Corral.
And was he? Hey, I'm just Corral. Was he at USC before Mississippi? I don't know whether he followed. Well, Kiffin he didn't come to Mississippi from USC. He was at Florida International, Florida Atlantic, or somewhere. But
Yeah, well, I
that
think it
would
was
have been
Florida
too much time.
Atlantic.
But some reason I'm thinking the Corral guy got in trouble at USC and
Could be.
and transferred.
My computer knows we've been talking about him because when I punch in Matt, the first name pops up, Matt Corral, even ahead of Matt Damon.
Right.
Whenever I just hit the word, the name, Matt. Let's see here. Oaks Christian High School, Long Beach Polytechnic.
Oh, so he's a California guy.
Yeah, yeah, which most of the time he's from Ventura, California.
Ooh, Ventura Highway.
Mike Powell, which most of the time bodes well in the quarterback world.
It does.
Let's see here. High school, we already mentioned that. Long Beach Polytech College. It just says Ole Miss.
Okay.
It doesn't mention any
Oh.
other. Now, when he went, Lane Kiffin wasn't there yet, right?
No.
When he,
No.
so he wound up playing for Kiffin in the.
Yeah, I
later-
think that was
later
somebody
years.
he brought in. I think that was.
Well, what we do know about Corral is he's a good athlete.
Yeah.
And I mean, unlike Darnold and Mayfield, are more just straight
He won't be going anywhere for a
drop back
while.
quarterback. No.
You know,
No,
I mean, I think he'll be locked
And
in.
I like you said, Mike, to bring him along slow. Don't you know?
He may be the quarterback of the future.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
But you don't have to rush him in.
He may not be, but you don't have to rush him. That's
last great Ole Miss quarterback was
not Archie, but
Eli.
the brother Eli.
Eli's coming, yeah.
Yeah.
He
So
was
they
the
really
last
haven't
one.
had one that really stood out and made the NFL. And have they had an NFL starter since Eli out of Mississippi? Ole Miss. Mississippi State has, because it's Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott. I can't think of any other recent Ole Miss quarterback.
I can't really think of but two. Period. They're out of the same family, daddy and son.
Had a long time apart. A long time apart.
But there probably has been another.
Corral could
I
be the
remember
guy.
an Ole Miss quarterback a few years ago transferred to Michigan with a lot of acclaim and was going to be the savior for Jim Harbaugh, but he didn't really have a good year. Didn't pan.
Were you guys surprised at all where Arch Manning decided to go?
Evidently, the Mannings, including Arch's uncles and grandfather, felt that Sarkisian was the quarterback whisperer that's going to best help his development.
And maybe make his own little niche, kind of like Peyton did.
Not going to the SEC.
He was supposed to go to Tennessee, and
Yep.
he
well, he will be in the
so
SEC eventually. Well, I don't know. It depends. When are Texas and Oklahoma actually making the jump?
He may,
and he's probably just a 3-year guy.
Yeah. If everything pans out, yeah. Well, now I'm hearing them mention maybe 2024, maybe.
Then again, he might even redshirt. I don't even know who the starter was at Texas last year. You may be able to tell me. Okay, if you have to think about it that long, it's not impressive.
They have not had, they've had just a bunch of journeymen.
Who's the one that's name started with the E a couple years ago?
Erlinger.
Something like that.
Erlinger. He was a good quarterback.
You consider him top-notch Texas?
Well, he was a 4-year starter. I thought he was a pretty good quarterback.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Vince Young recently. I'll say recently, 15 years ago.
Sims.
Yeah, Sims was pretty good.
Sims was good.
They've had what was McCoy?
Yeah,
Colt McCoy.
Colt McCoy. Still in the NFL,
still
right?
in the NFL.
All those names sound the same.
Yeah.
Erlanger, McCoy.
Speaking of tough, I have to give McCoy some credit too for being tough, because I've seen him take some vicious hits in the NFL, even in the college game. I think he took one, didn't he, in a big hit in the national championship game or something?
I believe it.
Yeah, but came back.
Who was the There was a Gilbert who played quarterback in Texas, and I think he was still hanging around the NFL. He was the quarterback who came in for Colt McCoy. Remember when McCoy got hurt?
Was it Garrett Gilbert?
Garrett Gilbert, yes. Against Alabama, and of course that was the game, wasn't it? When McCoy went out.
I don't know. Let's see. The best Texas Longhorn quarterbacks of all time. Number one, they ranked Vince Young as the number one quarterback at Texas.
Title,
yeah, he did. Now it took me to a swimming pool. How about that?
I even remember one of the best option quarterback they ever had, James Street. Out of the 60s.
And his
but they have Colt McCoy number 2.
And his son pitched baseball to Oakland A's one time.
Is that right?
But I don't think he's in the league anymore.
James Street is under Darryl Rohr. The triple option. The
Brandon
wishbone.
Street, I believe, was the boy's name.
James Street was a Texas quarterback in the late 60s.
Yeah. His name jumps out to me.
Major Applewhite's on the list.
Major Applewhite. I got some Colt McCoy, Major, all those names.
Bobby Lane.
They got the best names at quarterback I've ever heard.
I feel good. This is the best name. James Brown.
1994.
Bobby Lackey, Duke Carlisle, Ben Tompkins. Bobby Lackey sounds like somebody from around here.
It does, doesn't it? Sounds like somebody from Vail or
Paul Campbell, Jack Halfpenny.
Major
Halfpenny and Applewhite.
That was his contract. Half a penny. Tommy Wade, Donnie Wigginton, James T. Jones, Charles Brewer, Jim Hudson, Walter Fondren, and Johnny Genung. I don't know if I'm saying that one right or not. 1960 to 63, Johnny Genung, Genung. So
what was
that's your top 20.
What was James Street's years? 68, 69.
James. There's James Jones. Let's find James Street. Michael wants to know the years at Street. There's James Brown. James Street was 67 to 69.
Right.
So 3 seasons.
That was the birth of the wishbone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these I'm surprised ranked ahead of Bobby
quarterback
Lane.
will have some of them because of what they do in. The running back got the.
Oh yeah.
Got the.
Yeah. Well,
you just run through the Ricky Williamses, the Earl Campbells.
The main reason I asked you guys, do you think this is a good fit and all this kind of stuff, and why did he go to Texas, was because it's a team that is traditionally known for their running game, big time running backs, and of course all those times have really gone by the wayside.
Oh
now.
Yes,
it's a whole new world. And if you're not going out there and scoring 50, you're losing.
Right.
I mean, that's just the way. That's just kind of what football's.
Takes too long to score a touchdown running the football, typically, right?
Yeah, but if you can do it and keep away and limit teams to possessions, I still think you got a chance to win those games. But the problem is, if you're not airing the ball out and throwing it around, you're losing out on recruits.
Yeah, because that's what they want to do.
They want to play up and down the.
Is that the reason maybe the military academies are about the only teams left that still run the triple option?
Probably.
Because they can get those kind of athletes.
Right.
Tough and hard-nosed.
Yeah.
And
that makes sense. It really does.
Yep. We're going to take our final time out. We appreciate you tuning in to Sports Talk here this morning. It'll be the fourth quarter coming up when we come back.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stiefel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stiefel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Bear with me a little bit on the back to pushing the buttons this morning. Brett Keever out of town this morning. Yeah, he's all the way down in Langston.
Ooh,
That's out of town.
that far.
Out of a town from
That's right.
one town to another.
Yeah, we were going to do an abbreviated 4 quarters, shorten it up a little bit, and we are going to us four are actually heading out of town too. We're going down to Denver to have breakfast this morning. They quit serving at a certain time, so we're going to try to get there before.
And of course, our go-to Brookwood is closed.
Yeah. Yep, they're closed for the holidays. Not the holidays, but the holiday.
The holiday.
The July 4th. And I don't know if Mike was trying to call them out there. He sounded angry, didn't he?
What is the world coming to?
Did he not
the
sound
Brookwood's
angry?
closed.
Well, I know another restaurant in Cherville that always does the same thing. Home Folks Cafe. They close for the week of the 4th.
And there's not a thing wrong with that.
No?
No.
I'm glad they do it.
Right.
I'm glad they give their both places. Glad they give their employees a break. One thing about it, you know, all this short staffing that's going on in restaurants now. Anyway, you might as well do it all at one time.
You're right.
You know, instead of people were taking
and
off
like
and
you
going.
say, it's a problem everywhere. I
It
know.
is.
We went to the Lineburgers Wednesday night.
Now he's telling on himself.
As soon as we got there, they said, you know, we might be away. We're short-handed, but it wasn't.
Yep, I ate at a restaurant
But
this week for lunch. Said we only got one waitress, but we'll do the best we can.
We were pushing 2 wheelchairs, so maybe that got us in a little quicker
There you
because
go.
it wasn't just a minute. And they said, "Come on." I said, "Well, that wasn't a long wait." So, well, I took my mom.
Who's going today so we can get in quick?
Oh, you got one?
It's going to be our
It's in the other
designated.
car.
It's
Too bad I
another-
didn't bring it along. You could roll
handicap
me
person.
in there.
Yeah. Want to mention this real quick, and then Mike wants to get in a little bit of NIL on the high school level. Braves did win last night. 15 hits for the Atlanta Braves last
All
night.
right.
This team is looking every bit
They
as
really-
good at times as they did last year in their World Championship season. 12 runs, 15 hits, no errors to 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Washington Nationals. Braves at 50 wins now already on the
pretty good.
season. 50 and 35, way ahead of last year's
But
pace.
now, you know, a month and a half ago we was talking about the Mets was going to run away, and now it's about a game
Well,
and
the
a half,
Mets haven't been quite as hot as they were. 2.5.
2.5.
2.5. Yep. 3 back in the loss column, 2 in the win column, 2.5 game lead for the.
Of course, you
Mets.
know, you just want to play to get in. That's the goal,
it.
you know, because it turns into a tournament after that, you know.
You realize that the Astros now are only 5 games different than the Yankees, and we hadn't talked a whole lot about the Astros this year, but the Astros
They're right there.
have been so consistent,
And you know, they can play with the Yankees. They have been playing with them. You know, they've
got the best of the Yankees.
I don't think the
in
Yankees really
head-to-head.
want to see them, you know.
Yeah.
That's if they've kind of got it in their head. That's
Yep. That seems like the Astros pitching has really stepped up when they faced the Yankees. Only about 8 minutes left, Mike Powell. What are we going to talk about?
No, I just wanted, it came to my attention this week, a a column by Nick Stevens, who's the managing editor of High School OT, the website. Lenny, I'm sure you're familiar with that. But headline says we should embrace the opportunity in NIL for high school sports in NC. And he goes into a very lengthy argument. I mean, if you want to look it up, our listeners, it's there on the website. But he does say one thing, and he says...
And that's high school OT?
High school OT.
OT.
His basic point is that, amateurism is gone in college sports now.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, the only thing holding amateurism together, and I quote, at the high school level are rules and some laws and individual states and strongly worded statements from the National Federation of State High School Associations, which doesn't have any actual enforcement ability. But the restrictions in states have started to evaporate, and it's happened at a much faster pace and more diversified way than many probably expected a year ago. And that's just one paragraph. But do you think it's coming at the high school level too? I don't know. And what would that look like? I mean, would you have like a star high school pitcher in a small town? Could he really reap the benefits of
There you go. You made a big point right there, and you didn't even know it. And not in the small town, so what's he going to do?
He's going to be out.
He's going to play in Charlotte, or he's going to play in Los Angeles.
And I don't like that. That's
yep.
And to me, when you said this,
so he makes his start, he makes his mark at that level, then he goes to play somewhere else.
The first thing I thought of is your Montverdes and your IMG academies and Oak Hills,
which we know has been happening for years.
Suncrest,
I would
Christian,
think that,
Sunrise Christian.
Yeah,
but
that's where
how would that relate to NIL? Name, image, likeness.
Well,
promotion.
Those schools that are pretty much open to superstars are going to bring in more superstars and going to sign contracts with your Nikes and Adidas. And
that's true.
I don't know that you can stop it, but I don't like it because I think it just brings more corruption into the
and it
into these the Mount Verdes
level.
I mean, it just takes away the whole concept of team. It's all about me, but I don't know that it can be stopped.
No, I think
he also gets into the legal aspects. What if
we're in that for the long haul too?
Yeah.
That me part.
Yeah.
What if high school athletes and their representatives took it to court? And
you're right.
Who knows where it might go? But
and that's probably what happened. I mean, that's.
Did you know that Utah and Colorado are two states that already allow NIL in high school athletics?
Okay, so you answered your own question when you said, "Is that going to happen?"
It's already happening.
That's
yeah,
right.
Louisiana has
Louisiana
approved NIL for high school athletes.
Three crawfish and a
you got
it sounds
frog
like
legs.
it does sound like it's.
But what would that look like? Would it be like just cash money? Would it be appearances at a local car dealership? T-shirt,
whatever contract they can get you to sign.
Yeah, I don't know that you know. You know, it's
okay, let's look at it this way.
Building the plane as we're flying.
If you're a high school,
it's mainly going to be quarterbacks and
if
pitchers,
you're a high
right?
school junior right now and you're getting ready to go into your senior year, and you are a top 50 quarterback, I'm not going to say top 5, but a top 50 quarterback in the country, and I know this don't sound good, but let's say IMG out of Florida gives you or contacts you or your parents or something and says, we'd like to have you come down here and be our quarterback. I can't promise you the starting job, but you'll be in the running for it. What would it take? And what would you want?
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
What do you want? I mean, what's your price going to be to move to a place like that where you're going to get more?
Free housing for the family? Or
I think that's a given, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of money these places have.
Car leasing,
but
free car leasing.
Yeah, you don't know.
And it's not a matter of what money they got. It's a matter of what money the community's got. It's what winds up.
Yeah.
Right.
But
does that completely violate? Is there any amateurism left? I mean, I always thought that high school was the last bastion of true amateurism, but we know that's not even true.
Look at this from the other side before we go, and we are going to go here in just a minute. Look at this from the other side, though. How much would you, as the owner of a mega car dealership be willing to pay a high school player?
Yeah.
What's your benefits going to be out of that? I don't see it.
You don't.
I don't see
either.
much benefit out of that. Now,
No.
if you've got
Not high
Arch
school.
Manning going to Texas and he can advertise your car dealership, there's an
That's
advantage
huge.
to that.
Advantage to that.
But a high school kid that
for
moves
most,
in,
no.
I don't think it'll be overwhelming, at least
But
not
now,
early.
but that's why I mentioned small town, because I mean I know that's where the kids are really known if they come up through the ranks, the local car dealerships, the
Right,
restaurants, insurance
Mike
companies.
Powell's the quarterback in Cherryville.
Yeah.
But when he moves to Central Florida and plays for IMG, who's Mike Powell? They don't know.
Yeah.
You can't be a spokesperson.
But no, what if he
for-
stayed in Cherryville and was able to reap what advertising benefits he could from?
What you get in Stockton, Carolina Freight?
Well, that pulled out in '96.
Max Grill, huh?
I'm just saying. I mean, the small towns don't have as much to give.
No, they don't.
But-
They
Right.
don't.
That's
and
I'm just trying to figure out how that might.
I think
work
we'll see.
as
I think we'll see
marketing
little
ploy.
effect early. I don't know where it
well,
grows to,
and
but I think
and
we'll
it
see
probably
little
would
effect
vary small town, like you say. Cherville's a small town, and it's
No.
it's there might be some small town communities that's got some money, a lot of money that might they might, but it would be here, rare to extreme.
Yep.
early. Yeah. Well, I wonder about that. I think I'm pushing the wrong button here again. There we go. Whoop, that's not it. Let's go here.
Oh, I do want to throw out passing to James Conn too.
Yes.
Oh, hey.
I just
Let me tell you how disappointed I was yesterday watching
Yeah.
Channel 3, who never seems to get their graphics or their names right. James Cann died.
Ken.
Oh my God, that
Yep.
is a grievous era.
James Ken.
Young. I'm not even going to say male or female, but young reporter that just didn't know. But somebody should have made sure that was. It wasn't, didn't say it just one time either.
Yeah.
James Cann. And I'm like,
James
Okay, Lenny, can you name the Western that really got the jump started James Conn?
El Dorado.
You got it.
Well, I heard that on TV the other day. I heard somebody did get that right.
Who else is in
I
there?
believe that
John Wayne was
John
in it.
Wayne, was
Dean Martin.
is that the one that
John Wayne and that was Gregory? No,
what was the guy that was in
James Stewart.
Hoosiers?
Gene
the
Hackman.
drunk daddy,
Oh,
alcoholic dad.
Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper.
Was he in it? Was Dennis Hopper
I don't know
in
if
El
he's in that
Dorado?
one or not. He may have been. That was what, 66?
it's no wonder when he got that. He drove one for years.
Yeah, he's right.
Thanks for tuning in to Sports Talk. Thanks for Lenny for being here this morning. See you next
Enjoyed
week.
it.
Kids on that team, and they're going to try to win the College World Series championship. So, the other, I guess, baseball, baseball tournament underway. Florida, Florida last year. What's going on? Something that I read, they have to make the tournament or do very well. You have to stop it. They can write it out average 500. Graduate transfer, and he announced last night that he instead is LR was one of his finalists. I believe it was LR, Wingate,